Data logs. Date: Cycle 466, Sassalog. Location: Safara class research cruiser Laboratory 4. Subject: Sol-3-1. Species: Homo sapien. Subject origin: Sol-3. Test: Basic communication. Notes: Subject appears to communicate using a series of reverberating muscles located below the central mental processing organ to produce audible bursts of sound, a primitive method of communication that can be easily replicated and translated with time. Subject responds as expected to basic visual stimuli. Visual appendages are capable of moving independently from casing. Date: Cycle 482, Sassalog. Subject: 17246. Species: Homo sapien. Test: Advanced communication. Notes: Subject responds with louder sounds during this experiment. Recently created translation software shows that it is questioning us as to our identity and our purpose for holding it. Subject ceases loud sounds once we communicate our intent to study, as opposed to harm it. Subject agrees to be compliant under the condition that we do not perform invasive surgery in its organic waste dispenser. Condition was agreed to. Date: Cycle 484, Sassalog. Subject: 17246. Species: Homo sapien. Test: Basic physical. Notes: Subject's internal carapace is very resilient, can withstand 18000 raxos of constant force before deforming. Subject protested and attempted to break free from its bindings during the application of pressure. Subject's communication became primitive and threatened to desecrate our carapaces with such ferocity that it would reach across the metaphysical plane and disturb our ancestors' ancient slumber. Subject's musculature is incredibly dense and compact. Subject was able to break free from restraints with considerable effort and used appendages to enact severe damage to our equipment. Subject eventually ceases its destructive response and complies with commands to perform basic physical maneuvers. Subject appears to use only lower appendages when on horizontal surfaces. Date: Cycle 484, Sassalog. Subject: 17246. Species: Homo sapien. Test: Advanced physical. Notes: Subject was exposed to a series of increasingly deadly creatures from our menagerie. Ivaroloxa. Subject exposed to a single Ivaroloxa and told to combat it. Log. Ivaroloxa attacked using its favourite tactic of simply leaping at the foe, attempting to grab the subject in its jaws. Subject evades initial leap and uses lower appendage to deliver a blow to the lone Ivaroloxa. Ivaroloxa experiences internal bleeding, internal detonation, lacerations, and finally external detonation. Ivaroloxa pronounced deceased. Equipment records the kinetic force of the blow to be in excess of 20,000 raxons. Equipment sent to technical support for error check. Results: recordings unverified due to faulty equipment. Personal recordings from observers dictate that the subject was unharmed. Vertegra. Subject exposed to a single vertebra. Log. Vertegra released into subject's enclosure. Vertegra utilizes adaptive camouflage to evade subject before approaching from subject's rear. Subject lacks fully rotational vision, yet still successfully locates Vertegra. Vertegra attempts to pierce the subject using its pointed manipulators. Vertegra is unsuccessful. Vertegra is knocked to the ground and repeatedly assaulted by the subject's lower manipulators. Results: Subject appears to have greater audible processing abilities than previously believed. Understandable, considering its method of communication, but to be capable of hearing a sneaking Vertegra is still unheard of in most organic beings. Vertegra corpse was rendered unidentifiable. Verma prisoner. 145. Subject exposed to a single Verma prisoner found guilty of 6 counts of evisceration. Log. Subject and Verma spend several minutes observing one another. The Verma does not immediately attack. Subject engages in verbal communication with Verma. Subject engages in more primitive forms of communication using its upper manipulators to make motions and signs. Verma responds with a small movement of his mandibles. Subject and Verma simultaneously begin assaulting the observation panel. Results: destruction of majority of equipment. Noticeable damage done to observation panel. Verma euthanized. Subject placed into cryogenic confinement until more secure laboratories become available.